Hi guys, I want to discuss with you a little bit about making goals more clear in a very fun activity. This activity specifically has been really important for me and it has brought in some monumental changes in my life. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my life about in June 2016. I was in Germany in Berlin. I had landed this wonderful opportunity of an internship in a very prestigious university with a world-renowned professor, an amazing team, a lot of facilities, and that is another story of how I landed that. But this internship was in biotechnology, which was my field of studies. And by the end of the internship, I was really clear that I will not be continuing in this field because I could not see myself working not even for 5 or even 2 years in this field in a research program or behind a lab desk in a lab. And so having that clarity of not continuing this work is great, but not knowing what else to do was really terrifying. I certainly knew that I could not see myself in this profession, but I had no clue on what else I could do. I knew I wanted to create an impact, affect lives, and talk to a lot of people, support a lot of people, and guide a lot of people, but I had no idea of how to go about it. And that's scary because, especially when you have a really good internship and you've done quite well for yourself in a certain line, people expect you to continue on that journey, but I had no idea what I was going to do. So, especially in the last few weeks of my internship, I was scared, I was terrified, I was really frustrated trying to figure out what is the next step. So, I remember this one point where I decided to just go to this beautiful park that I had known was there in the city, and I had a trip all by myself. I went there and I sat there for a while. So, I personally really love to be around trees, around nature, and that is really de stressing for me. And that's when I can really be in my element and think clearly and really get out of my head with all the tension and worries. So I went through my pictures and I found the picture of this beautiful place. I remember I was sitting exactly somewhere here under this tree. This is a beautiful tree. The picture doesn't really do justice to this place. And you know how Germany is, there's hardly any people around. So it was almost like it was my own park and my own this small, slice of nature all for me. And I was really feeling happy about that. I was listening to this really interesting podcast about achieving your goals. And in that moment, I felt the urge to just draw. So, and what I wanted to draw was what I wanted my life to be in about a year. I was just driven to draw. I mean, I'm someone who likes to write, and that is something I didn't know before. And I thought I would write something, but I started to doodle. So I started to picture something that would be fun maybe to do in about a year's time. I didn't know how, I didn't know where all to go and which person to speak to regarding what to do, but I wanted to write down what was the final image that I wanted to see in my life, what are the final results that I wanted to see in my life, and I drew the picture. And I had this sense of calm sort of fall all over me where I thought that yes, I can achieve this. I sort of at least have a map for myself for the next year that these are the kind of things that I want to happen in my life. And that exercise or that activity that just came over me, that's not something that someone suggested, but it just came over me and I just drew it. And that exercise was really, really important. And I had this sense of calm that things would fall into place because now I have something concrete to look at and to act as a guiding map for me. And I remember feeling the strong sense of telling myself that it will happen and you just let it happen. You don't have to work extra hard for it, but have this in your mind and let it happen. So, so I drew this beautiful piece of art, which I actually found for myself. I still have it with me because it was so important. I made that picture, I stuck it on my cupboard, and I would see it every day, and I would feel confident because I drew this from a place of love, from a place of happiness. When I was sitting there in my element, envisioning the beautiful life that I would want to, the picture had a very positive positive sort of message for me. Whenever I saw that, it sort of reminded me of the positivity, and that is also really important. So I am also going to share this picture with you, and you must appreciate my inner talent, this beautiful gift that I'm keeping away from the world. Um, Another important thing that I wanted to share about before you get into the details, I'll go into that, but I wanted to also share that at that point, um, I have a boyfriend, and my parents, my father, in fact, did not know about him, and I had a wonderful time with him. I've been with him for about the last 3 years, and my mother and my brother know about him, and I really wanted my father to know about him as well, because I wanted us to be a big happy family, because there was nothing I thought was there to hide. And this is a big no-go for me, and it's a big serious thing to share with my father about something like this. And did I mention that my boyfriend is German? Yeah, so my boyfriend is German. I forgot to mention that. So that is a huge obstacle in the path to tell my father, which in any case, is really scary. So it was a complete no-go. I would never imagine that I can go and tell my father, but somehow in that moment, I thought that my boyfriend, who would escort me for Berlin, and that's me, the short one, and my parents were somewhere in Turkey or Delhi, my mom, my brother, my father without hair, would receive me, and they would accept, support, and love and help me, because right after the internship, a lot of people were expecting me to start working or to go back to Germany and to pursue the work that I was doing. But I wanted my parents or my family to support and love me and not put any pressure on me and just let me sort of figure out the next steps. After that, I wanted to find a team of wonderful people who would support me, apparently hairless people, who would support me and guide me and sort of, the kind of environment that I would require to thrive and materialize all the ideas that I had and all the desires that I had to help out different people and generally do something about it. So I wanted to have a good job, impactful work, very good money, wonderful supportive people, a lot of time for myself as well, and great experiences from that. And after that, you would see that how cool I am. I'm really wearing shades and addressing a huge crowd, which I wanted to. And I wanted to be great at it. I wanted to create an impact and a lasting, impact on the people. And I wanted to be really satisfied doing this. And finally, like the most impossible leg of this whole journey would have been to introduce, I don't know how this relates. Okay, that is Thomas and that's me. That's my boyfriend. And I would want to introduce him to my family, and we would be one big happy family, which is the most difficult thing to imagine. But in that moment, I felt like, why not? Why not let it happen? It might just happen. And I have to tell you that this exercise was really, as I said, monumental for me, because it made me believe, because it made me think of such pictures, images in my own mind, right? And that is actually the science behind it. What happens is, when you are thinking of a goal, in general, you have a desire in your mind, but you don't articulate it in a sentence or in a vision, or you draw it or you write it. You can't really make a clear picture out of it, right? I knew I wanted the support from my family. I knew I wanted to find these people, but all I had in my mind or my heart was that I want to do some impactful work. I want to do something which I didn't even form in sentences. But when I formed this picture, I had an image in my mind. I could visualize that image in my mind. And when I did that, my brain could think that that is an actual reality that I can achieve, right? It suddenly became a little bit more conceivable. It became a little bit more real in my mind. It's not just some far fetched theory, but when I can imagine it in my mind to be surrounded by a supportive group of people doing something which is impactful and helping others, and maybe making some organization around it or some business around it, when I could imagine it in my mind, then I thought that it's not impossible. And that is where the shift happens, because you think, oh, that can be achieved. So now, out of these things I wanted to share you, which all came true. I mean, you can probably guess, within a few months of me coming back, my parents, although very supportive, they were very happy. They never ever put any pressure. They didn't even have any discussion with me regarding what I should do after this, which was quite interesting, because they were occupied with something else. Lucky for me. Right after that, I found like a bunch of people, like my colleague who I haven't been in touch with over many years, and I found out that he was working on a startup related to what I want to do. So I found these bunch of people, and we founded an organization together to help students find their career paths. And As some of you might know it, I'm a founder of a company called GoBuddy Educare, and that was really impactful work. That was wonderful, and I got to do it from home, so I had a lot of time for myself as well. I was not on the field as such. I was at home doing this work, still having that impact, still having a wonderful team, still reaching out to many students. And as of now, we have like a lot of students registered with us, around 1,000 students. This is my boyfriend, who had come down for Holi to to meet my family, and this is the picture that I had in my mind. Although there we are like holding hands and standing together in a line, but the selfie is selfie would do, I would say. And I achieved that, and this is where I am addressing a crowd of about 200 students. This picture doesn't capture all of it, but I wanted to share it with you, that this is me addressing a crowd of so many students. And after the session as well, when I interacted with them, I could see the transformation that I created with them. And I pretty much achieved all of this in this time. And I was so happy to have been able to achieve all of this. And this is all because I created a stupid picture, like I doodled these ugly faces on a piece of paper, because that sort of resonated with me. These pictures resonated with me, and so I could manifest them in my life. And that is where I don't really want to boast about it, but I want to share with you that this is what I'm here to share with you as well. All these steps which will help you manifest these things from your mind to your reality. And as I said, I don't want to boast it. I just want to show you that if I could do it from a space where I was so frustrated, I was confused, I was scared, to within like, I don't know, 9 months of all of this. I think it has been around 9 months since all of this has happened, and I feel really, really happy about myself and happy about achieving these. And now I have new pictures, I have bigger canvases to fill, and there is so much more that I want to achieve, and I am going to achieve them because I believe so. And I want to share it with you now. How about you? How about you do the same? Now, you don't have to be an artistic person, you don't have to be a person who loves to write, but you have to, in one way or the other, express these goals of yours. Now, it could be by writing them, right? You can write them, you can speak about them, you can draw them. The whole process would be like this: you find a place which is comfortable for you, right? Like how I find that spot which is beautiful for me, like really relaxed me. So you really need to be in a different zone altogether, where you're not thinking about your daily problems and daily tensions. You really need to switch off. Of course, your phone is not going to be around you. Maybe you put some light music if you're interested, and find yourself a comfortable zone where you won't be disturbed, and maybe a different place, maybe not your bedroom because you're relaxed. You're used to a certain kind of routine in a bedroom, so maybe in a different place which sort of motivates you a little bit more. So find a place that is going to be helpful in this exercise. Really relax, breathe for a minute or two, deep breaths in, deep breaths out, and let go of the tensions, right? Maybe play some interesting music, some mild music for yourself, and start thinking of your goals. Now, you and I have discussed some of your goals, so maybe you can think about them. Maybe if you have more goals, think about them. There's no limit to what goals you want to achieve and what you can achieve. So think about these goals and start writing, speaking, expressing. You can even dance, I don't know, whichever works for you, but do it and bring it from your mind to your reality so that you can really feel it. So you have to really feel it, engage your mind, engage your senses in it, write down all the exciting details that are there. If you want to change in career, just imagine what the new job opportunity would look like. What does the salary look like? How would it feel to have a salary like that? How would it feel to have an interesting team which motivates you, which builds you up? If you want to have a better relationship with someone, try to think of how that would feel to have that next level of communication with them, to have the time spent with them. And try to imagine these beautiful, juicy, little, beautiful details everywhere, so that that picture becomes more and more exciting and you feel very strongly towards it. And finally, share, because when you share, there's the sense of accountability that comes into picture, because especially if you're sharing with me, then you're letting me know of your goals, and then that is a sort of pressure but also sort of a motivation to achieve these goals for yourself. So please share your sentences, your maybe you can speak out voice notes to yourself, or maybe the pictures that you draw. Please share those with me so that we can also discuss further on the goals and we take you one step further towards achieving your goals. That's about it. Thank you. Bye.